Right, today we're going to be going over the plan for a bill of materials where a customer sent me this picture and they want to see if they can monitor and control all of the loads in this home. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is recognize what is the panel brand, right? We do work with all major panel brands. We just want to make sure that we specify which one we're going to be working with for this project. This one right here is Square D. We're using the QO brand, and we're going to be using pigtail. We're not going to be using the plug-on neutral. Next thing we want to see is how many total open spaces they have. Right here, we can count that they have total of 19 open spaces. Next thing, we're going to zoom in and see the breaker slices and the quantity that is going to be on site already. So for 20 amps or less, count up all of those, that is 13 total that are 20 amps or less. Now, we want to make sure that the internet equipment is not on one of our power modules. So we know that one of these 20 amp circuit breakers is not going to be backed up by our power modules. So we're going to have 12 total circuits that are less than 20 amps that we want to back up and monitor and control. So how many 30 amps? We see 1, 2, 3 that are 30 amps, 240 volts. And how many 60 amps? We see 1. However, based on this sign over here, we know that that's actually incoming PV. So that is incoming AC from AC source, which is going to be Enphase here at this scenario. So we're going to hit 0 for this. So how many total modules do we need? For the 20 amps, right here, we see that it is 20 amps at 120 volts, right? So one module will take care of 2 loads. Therefore, we need 6 modules that are 20 amps, and we need, right here, you see 30 amps. It's a single channel at 240 volts. So we have 3 of those breakers, so we need 3 of these modules. How many 60 amps? We still need 0. All right, so how many total modules we need is 9. The total space required for these modules, as I mentioned, you can do 20 amps per one of these modules right here. This will take up 2 spaces. So 2 times 6 is 12 spaces required. How many spaces are required for the 30 amp? With single, it's 240 volts. That means you need L1 and L2. That's 2 separate spots on the panel. So 2 spots times 3, that right there is 6 spaces. And then the 60 amp modules would normally take up 4 spaces on this specific panel. If you have 1-inch panels, they'll take up 3 spaces, but right here we don't need any. So the total amount of spaces is 18. Considering we have a total available spaces of 19, we can certainly fit all of these 9 modules and make sure that they do fit and we can commission it without needing an external subpanel. Now, what does this look like right here? We're going to see the system where you have your power modules here with your breakers in between. It's completely up to the installer to change this up to make it fit the requirements that they want to use. And you will need to connect it to the director as well from Savant so that we do have the control possibilities with this system right here. And so for summary, you're going to need 6 total 20 amp QO modules. Now this SKU right here, if you had to use a QO power module that has the plug on neutral, this SKU changes. So please make sure that you realize and you figure out, you verify what panel brand you are using and whether it's pigtail or plug on neutral. So here you'll see the description. So it's 6 of the 20 amps, 3 of the 30 amps, and you will need 1 director to ensure that you are connecting this system to the Savant cloud so that you can have that one app experience and make sure that you are able to shift energy scenes and turn on whichever loads your customer wants at whichever point of the day they need. And so this is just a quick, I'm not going to get too detailed into the wiring. We do have this available as part of the resources that we do provide, where you'll see the power director is connected to the Ethernet, to the internet through an Ethernet patch cable to the network switch. So is the Enphase IQ combiner. And then from the Enphase IQ controller, we are connecting that to the general purpose input output pins on the director so that we know when there is a grid outage and we can trigger our essential scene. So we can go from a total of, if there's 20 total loads, we can shift that down to 5 loads when there's a grid outage, and we can make sure that that battery will last a lot longer. So with any questions, please feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to take care of that.